All right, we are live.
Hi there, everyone.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Good.
It's sunny here for me. I'm kind of excited. It's been a few rainy spells the last few days, and it's nice to actually have some sunshine. And I have to admit, there are no children in my house. So this is a great day. I love my kids, but I can actually get a whole bunch of stuff done. As some of you may be feeling the exact same way, it's sort of a Friday to celebrate. I'm very excited.
That's hilarious because this is the second Friday I've heard you say that. You had last week, which was the best day ever, and now, so I think Fridays is going to be your day, Carrie.
I think Fridays is my celebration day. I've made it through all the different things. I've made it through my clinical days. I've made it through a lot of other aspects. And, but yes, I think that there's, some light at the end of the tunnel now for sure. So, and I love my children. I love spending time with them too. Don't get me wrong. Okay.
I hear you loud and clear.
Emails. Yeah, no emails yet.
Yeah. Oh man.
And imagine, I'm so thankful that my kids are older because I can't imagine how difficult it must be during this time. Like, I know like when kids get the cold, they get sent home, they have to go for tests and all this. So it's hard to organize your schedule when things can change day to day, right? It's like a moving target. So yeah, I feel for you ladies with young families.
How are you doing, Beth? Are you enjoying your kids are doing okay at school and everything as well?
Yeah, I think they're doing pretty well. The one, you always have to, Anna Louise and I were talking about this, there's always different personalities. So my daughter wakes up kind of like you on Fridays. This is the best day ever. Can't wait to see her friends. And then my son is, he'd rather just hang out with us and the dog all day. So, but they're doing well. I'm proud of them for adjusting to everything. So it's good.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone's almost here. We always have some more kind of trickling in as we go, but I'm going to give a bit of housekeeping, and I may interject a little bit later on to repeat for anybody who's joining in a little bit later. But we have a full day planned. It's an exciting session today. I'm looking forward to it, and I know that many are as well. Just so that I am not constantly interrupting, what we're going to do is if you have questions, if you could just type them into this Q&A function that you see on your screen. If there's time at the end, I can pull from some of those questions. But if we don't have time to do that today, I will have a record that I can provide after the session so that hopefully we can get an answer to you. Otherwise, if you have just a comment, nice hair or nice shirt, you can use the chat function and we'll see it there, okay? So that is it from me. Kathleen, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce our speaker.
We know that you're the nice hair girl. I used to be the nice hair girl until Beth came into my life.
But COVID, it's like wrecking my secrets. I know I had you all convinced that I was naturally this blonde, but COVID, the jig is up. I know I had you convinced, but anyways.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm just going to welcome Suzanne Curry here and just read Suzanne's bio before we get started. Suzanne Curry is a brand strategist and general business manager who has specialized in oral care with Crest and Oral-B brands for 15 of her 22 years with Procter & Gamble, which is P&G. As a director on the P&G professional oral health business, Suzanne also served as president of DIAC, which is the Dental Industry Association of Canada, from 2012 to 2014, and remains active on the board today. Suzanne believes strongly in the P&G purpose of touching lives, improving life, and the critical role dental professionals play in enabling successful oral health outcomes. Suzanne has specialized in developing patient or client hygiene communication systems that leverage the depth of P&G, client psychology, and consumer understanding to help dental teams optimize trust, visit value, and loyalty. This innovation led her team to be recognized with the 2019 Friend of the Canadian Association of Orthodontists, which is a CAO, award for over 10 years of support for their CAO mission. Suzanne holds a Bachelor of Commerce degree from the McMaster University and lives in Toronto with her husband and twin daughters. So, and on a personal note, and just from RDHU, honestly, if it wasn't for you, I don't even know if we'd be here today.
Aw.
Really. Yeah, because I met Suzanne probably 12, 13 years ago
Mhm.
and shared some of my thoughts on starting RDHU. And, we met and started to strategize, and you were so excited because you've always been more about helping dental hygienists and helping with communication and really caring about the oral health of the public and trying to elevate oral health. So when you and I met, you were so excited and you really helped us, transform and launch RDHU. So I want to thank you so much for that.
Well, I want to thank you for having me on today. I think you guys have an incredible organization. You're so authentic. You're so interested in helping your profession, and you do such a great job. I'm just proud to be on your show. I clearly need a haircut. And so when we're talking about hair problems, I apologize. But I thank you so much and I think we do have some tools that can help, and we've done a lot of research, and hopefully we can be of some service, and we'll see today if we can provide some value.
That's awesome. Well, we know you've had a strong interest in helping dental professionals with building client trust and that visit value and loyalty. So really, why have you had such an interest in that?
Well, I think it starts with, for me, it's been about what's happening with the public, and we call them consumers, so I'll probably use that terminology a little bit today. But the Canadian public has 70 to 80% of them have some form of gum disease in their mouth. There's a lot of bleeding and inflammation. You guys all know that. And, that has always been a strong indicator for me that there's an opportunity here. There's more we can do. And so when we talk to consumers, we listen to how they feel about, their oral health, what it means to them. And we've had a lot of discussion with them about what it means to go to the dentist and see their dental hygienist. And the thing that has always come out to me that's been a very strong interest is that the Canadian public just doesn't value that visit as much as they do a regular medical appointment. And they see it as more of a cleaning, something that, could be missed, something where maybe they're going to be told that they're not flossing enough. Have you guys ever told anyone you're not flossing enough? and that maybe they have to get something else done, but they don't link it as strongly. When we listen to them speak, they don't link it as strongly to their health as they could. And if they did, and they had that trust in the fact that if I improve my oral health, I would improve my overall health. And if I, valued this visit, I would never miss it. And I would take the ownership to do what I needed to do at home. The thing that I always sit back, I guess, and think is, imagine a world where only 10 to 20% of Canadians have some level of, bleeding and inflammation and disease in their mouth. What if, all the appointments for the dental hygienists were easier and smoother and more enjoyable, because I know they can often be a little messy. And what if patients really, came on the intervals and really, accepted the treatment that they should get and didn't cancel their visits. And I really believe that we can get there. And so that's what I'm committed to helping do.
Very nice.
We're on that mission too.
Yes.
I know you are.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream job. Where can I apply? Because that's exactly what I want. Okay. You
See? Exactly.
I feel like you were having that video where everyone talks about, what's the job like of being a mom. I think most of us have seen that video, and it's like, you just talked about my dream job. How do I do it? Please inform me, help me out, because that is really what we want. We don't want to work in areas, especially now with COVID, we don't want to work in areas where there's a lot of infection and disease. And part of the hardest part is the communication aspect and getting people to trust us, getting people to want to come in and giving them that information that we are so much more than just cleaners. Really, we are. That is one of the duties that we do, but we do more than that. So
for sure. And Kathleen touched on it earlier, but just regarding the success that you've had with kind of building that trust and loyalty, what would you say are some of the key points to achieve that?
Well, you know, we do a lot of research with consumers, and there's 3 areas that really pop when you ask them about what would increase their loyalty to a dental practice and to the professionals within that practice. The 3 areas that pop are personalizing the communication, and sometimes when you know the appointment is busy and long, and the person's mouth is open the whole time. It's really trying to find those moments to make what's happening with that patient, what does it mean for them personally, what is going on with them, and their oral health. So personalized communication and that caring aspect that dental hygienists are so amazing at, that's the piece that we want to continue to help foster. Instant gratification is one that is really important, and it's busy. Their attention span is limited. They want things that are easy. They want things that are immediate. And so if you have that personalized communication and nothing happens as a result of it, then that moment can be lost. So it's really important to have that second component.
Have we lost?
I think she's
Recommend. Am I back? Oh, no.
there you are. Now you are.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, the instant gratification. Oh dear, am I lost again?
Nope.
Have you got me? Okay.
Yeah.
So instant gratification is really important, and then it has to work. So the product needs to deliver, or the service needs to deliver, and the conversation, if it's had and you discuss how well the progress has been made, then that's a really big end of the trifecta. So personalize it, make it immediate, and then allow the conversation to have on what progress and what positive impact has been made.
I think that's very helpful, and it rings so true to just the whole, it's called the ADPI process that we follow, right? Our assessment,
Yes.
And then when we come to that evaluation
That's right.
stage, it's so important that we include them in that so that they can see the progress that they've made and kind of celebrate that. So thanks, that was
That's
very
right.
helpful.
Yep.
So, with all of this too, it's also a way for us to follow up on our goals, because we're supposed to make goal statements for patients and follow up. And part of this technology, part of what you're talking about, I think will help us compare results before and after. That's for sure. So,
No, that's a really big, yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I think that this is a huge.
No, I do think that, yeah, sorry. I do think it is. It's a really, it is something you can do as a dental hygienist, is, give patients these goals or things that they can do and then track them and then come back. That helps you with your CE, but it also helps the patient and build that loyalty with them.
So what do you think, if anything, that COVID comes to play in all of this?
Well, COVID has definitely come to play for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think there's things that you would probably expect. Uncertainty is really big. We have about 60% of consumers that are saying, I don't know, if I don't feel comfortable, I'm not sure if I should go to that appointment or whether I should do that activity. There's 65% of consumers that are saying that they are worried about safety wherever they go and the protocols. And I think dental's doing a really good job at making people feel safe and know that the protocols are in place. I think that the one that I found interesting was the number of consumers that were actually nervous about shopping, just shopping in general, just going to the store has become a big concern. But there's one really big bright light for dental in this whole thing, which is, and I think for all, healthcare, is that 70% of consumers are saying they want to adopt healthier habits now.
Yeah.
And so if you go back to that 70 or 80% that actually, 70 or 80% that actually have some level of gingivitis or some level to improve their health, habits right now, then you've got a really interesting opportunity to capitalize on. We've got people who are interested right now in health, more interested than I think they've ever been because of COVID. And I think the other piece is that, which is surprising, is you think that consumer confidence might be down right now because of, you know, some of the economic impacts of COVID. But there's a real tendency to want to move to, if it's an affordable luxury, I want it right now. And if it's health related, I want it right now. So that's a really, that's the positive, I think, for COVID, is people are moving in a health direction and they're prepared to invest in it.
Yeah, we definitely have our clients' attention. You know, whether they phone and they want to find out like what precautionary things we have in place, or when they come in and they're admiring all the things that we've changed and added, so then they feel obligated, almost self-obligated, to step it up themselves, which I love that part. They're now really you know, reflecting on things that I've said before, but now it's like digging back in their mind. They've had time to think about it. And well, maybe, can you tell me about that again? You know, and definitely taking the opportunity to review where you've come from, like where we started when we met, where you are right now, and what the potential is with very little you know, sort of outlay, if you will, like effort, yes, and the right tools. And if you implement that, then you can, you know, then assure them the changes that they can make are outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a moment. It's a moment to capitalize on. I know it's a terrible, you know, COVID's been awful, but it is a moment to capitalize on.
And so with that, as a dental hygienist, really, you know, what can you do, or what can you recommend we do to help? Because I think that's where, as a practicing hygienist sometimes, and just in general, it's like we want to offer help, but sometimes we don't know where to start. And our snowball globes have been shucking up so much, we don't know which end is up. So do you have any tips or tricks or recommendations for us?
Well, Kathleen will know that I've spent an awful lot of time trying to you know, work with dental professionals to build systems that they can use in their practice to help systemically improve the flow of communication. They're more complicated to implement. They require the office to change, you know, sometimes what they're doing. And I think what's really struck me as we've gone through COVID is, why don't we just make it simple? Why don't we make it really simple to start? I'll tell you a quick story, and then we can see if we can apply it to dental. So I have a physiotherapist who I play tennis and I get really sore because I'm getting really old, and so I have to go and see her. And so she said to me, and this was all pre-COVID, she said, "You're really dehydrated. Like, I can tell in your skin, and you need to do something about that." And so she said, "You know, I can tell you, I know a lot about this space. I've reviewed the research on what you should be drinking, how much you should be drinking, what types of things you could be drinking while you play and while you do athletic activity. And I'm a professional, so I can get the thing that I really think works into my office for a good price. And then I don't make any money on it, but you can order it from me and I can get it to you, and you're going to save, you know, a bunch of money off of retail, and it's going to make a difference for you." And so I did. And then when I came back in, she's like, "Look," and she kind of showed me, and I knew I could feel I was much more hydrated than I'd been before. And so I think it's a very similar thing with home care options from the practice. We have the opportunity to take technology, and I would say specifically right now, we have this new brush. I think most dental hygienists are familiar with Oral-B and with the small round head. And the reason that that's so important is it makes bristle contact with the entire tooth. But the thing with this new technology is that it's really proven. I mean, to get 82% of patients will return to health. Like, you will return to health if you use the technology. And you know, when I think back to what we were talking about at the beginning of what patients think about a visit, I'm going to go in, you know, it's just a cleaning. Maybe they're going to tell me I've got to brush a little more with my manual brush. The chances of returning to healthy with a manual brush, when you're a person that's already got some level of disease, about a little over 20%. This it's over 80%. And so you're just giving yourself such a bigger chance of in between visits getting healthy. And this brush is it's pretty, it's quiet. When we think about affordable luxuries, people wanting to, you know, invest in their health right now, this is something where they look at it and they say, wow, the concentrated energy of this brush goes right through to the head where you need it. The little vibrations in the head, they really break up the biofilm. The small head connects with all the surfaces of the tooth. It feels fabulous on, and it's got a pressure sensor right in the handle, so you can't push too hard, and it actually tells you if you're pressing hard enough. So this thing is designed to do, you know, everything you need it to do. The results, the clinical evidence is there, and the feel and the enjoyment and the look is there as well. And so I think that the idea that we came up with was, why don't we take your caring? We do a Caring Comes Home program. All that means is that you tell the patients that need it that they can up their game at home, just like My Fair. And then after you personalize that communication, you make it instant gratification. If you want one, I can get it for you, and I can get it for you at a professional rate. And when they come back in after using it, you look at their mouth and you both celebrate together at the difference that it's made. And so not a lot of work, but what it does is it really attaches you. My physiotherapist, I trust her more, I value her more, I have taken more ownership in what I need to do to stay hydrated, and I make more appointments because I'm talking to her more. And so it's a really simple service, but it's something that can make a big difference.
Yeah, because then they can even get the heads off of your practice as well. Like you're saying that you're getting constant drinks. So it's similar, like I can come to you and I can order the heads from you, you know? And I like the way that when you know that you're not making money, it changes the whole conversation, right? When you say like, we are not making money off of this, but if you want to buy this in the store, it is this much money. However, I can get it for you for this price. Like everything changes. And the other thing is, you don't even have to say like, oh, I have one here for you. Because I know a lot of offices right now, they're feeling like, you know, like they had a lot of expenses. They're watching what they're spending. So what they can do is just say, you know, we're going to place our order on the 15th of this month. Would you like me to put your name down so that we'll order you one at that time? And then it's just a win-win for everybody. And because
100%.
and like you say, it's like, once we get them on the right power and the right pace, everything changes, right? And it's like, why do we keep doing the same thing? Carrie, what does your dad always say about the lawyers? I love when he says that. It's like, would you go to a lawyer that wins 80% of his, or loses 80% of his cases, you know, on the doors? I lose 80% of the cases. Would you want to hire him? And it's just it's so simple, really. Like, it's just like, yes, you know, if we do this, we are going to see people get healthy, right? Especially with the 2-minute, like, you know, for me, if I don't brush for the 2 minutes, I'm starting my day with a sad face. And I'm like,
right.
darn it, I don't want to start my day with a sad face. So I'll finish the 2 minutes. And it works.
It is pretty incredible. It's got this whole display screen, and it tells you good morning, and it smiles at you. Like, yeah, no, it's awesome.
It's a great travel companion, right?
That's right.
You're never alone. You have so much to
You have your Oral-B.iO with you.
I really understand too the importance of having something in your practice. And I think right now, a lot of people are money conscious, whether it be yourself or your patients and everything else. And this is potentially dental health and oral health is a purchase of some sort. It's about going after really the health and reminding your patients, your clients, your customers, whatever word you want to use, that you're doing this really for them. It's really not about making the office money. It's an additional service or additional selection, because I don't know about you, but if you ever walk down, I like to go down Shoppers Drug Mart aisle sometimes and watch people try to pick out things.
Yeah.
They're standing at the toothbrush aisle or the power brushes and they're like, oh, which one should I buy? It's overwhelming, it's confusing, and if you can lead them in this direction, it's such a great option. And it also builds trust and support. Like when you can see the changes in your patients, when they come back in and you reevaluate and you know, you can write, I met a goal, or I partially met a goal, we're on our way. It's really nice. And then you build that trust, and then guess what happens? They take your recommendations. When you recommend restorative care, they start to buy in a lot faster. And I think all of us that are working and the past history, you guys all have that experience. Everybody has that. And this is just an additional option. And as Anna Louise said, and Suzanne, you've said, people are wanting this information now. So it is our opportunity to readdress some of those patients that have never wanted anything before. We've got to try a different message. This is a different direct option. And I just don't understand why people wouldn't want to offer this. I just don't understand it. Like, you know, there's choices. And Kath, that was a great idea that you mentioned about pre-ordering and having, you know, a list. So then you're already collecting the money. If you've got an employer or you're in a situation where it is tight, well, why don't you pre-sell them? And then you're not out the money. And that's a really great option. So I don't know. I really don't understand why people wouldn't want to try to.
Well, it kind of, I think there's been I would say pre-COVID, there might have still been a little bit of, yeah, you know, maybe not, you know, people weren't as, but right now, everyone is really, really interested in their health, and they will spend on health-related items. And when they look at them and they say, oh, that's nice, that's something I want, you know, they will do it right now. So as, you know, we were talking about COVID, it's awful, but it's given us an opportunity to have these conversations. And I think everybody's listening right now.
And I find if you have an intro camera and they're in your chair that day and we're setting up for that purchase, then I definitely take a picture of their oral cavity in a few spots and say, okay, we're going to document where you are today. And when you come back in next day, we're going to pull up these pictures, take some new ones, and just do a visual on all the changes that have happened just because you made this, you know, awesome purchase, and see all the value that it has for you. And they are pretty flabbergasted at how simple, like, you know, it's not like they're using 18 different things. I often have people come to me who are using a bunch of items and none of them very well. So let's get simple. Let's pick, you know, getting the right brush and implementing it the proper way, you know, very effective and efficiently, so that then we can show them just from doing that, these are the results that you have attained. So,
and they're going to feel the difference. That's the thing. Like, you know, like prior to me using Power 12 years ago, I would wake up in the morning and I could feel like disgusting in my mouth. Like I needed to brush my teeth right away. I couldn't talk to anybody. But since I've been using Power and the Stannis, it was life changing for me. So I can wake up now. I can actually probably forget to brush my teeth because they just feel clean all the time. So just think about your clients who are going to experience that, right? They're going to experience, wow, my teeth feel clean. I don't feel that grunge. I don't have that bad breath. You know, it is life changing. So I think once people experience it, then they're going to, you know,
what Anna Louise said there with this idea of,
we've lost you.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't know why can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think what Anna Louise said there was amazing because too, is that, you know, she made it personal. She provided an instant gratification, a solution, and then came back and showed the difference and the positive outcome and the link. I mean, it really works.
yeah,
it
I tell
ties
them they
back.
did their own scientific experiment.
Yeah.
Right. And they're bright-eyed, and it's like, yes, when you relate it back that this is you performed yourself a scientific experiment, you implemented something, and you can see the difference. That is
awesome, Anna Louise. I love the way you communicate with your clients.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky. I'm very successful at it, and then all of a sudden, the whole family's getting them for Christmas, right?
Right.
You know,
That's right.
luck has nothing to do with it. Okay, it's your attention to detail. You're interviewing. You're the time you spend and all the
Sure.
everyone else, it is not luck. It has been hard work and a focus to the detail. So we all learn so much from you and from everybody. But
And it's client specific. Anna Louise treats every client like it's a unique appointment, right? She doesn't do like, oh my gosh, I'm going to start with this quad, I'm going to go to that quad, I'm going to do this. Like, you are very much, this is the person who I have in my chair right now. These are the needs. This is what I'm going to do. And you do it so well. So
Thank you very much.
we're happy to have you in our circle.
Yes, we are.
Thank
And it goes right back to, Suzanne, what you were talking about with building that loyalty, right? Is doing exactly what Anna Louise said, involving them in that evaluation, celebrating their successes with them, and then they are much more engaged moving forward. I did have a question
That's right.
for you. You had talked about getting the brushes into the offices and kind of how to talk to the dentist a little bit about it. But could you, I know you have some material on how to actually get that into the practice. Could you walk us through some of that? And I do have a slide that we can share just to help you navigate it.
Well, I think the biggest thing that we wanted to be very cognizant of is that we know how busy everybody is right now, and that dental offices and everybody on the team have had to do way more, you know, than you used to have to do before because of COVID. And so we don't want to make anything complicated. And that's the whole idea, is this is very, you can make an enormous difference with a service by offering a service. And we can send out these sheets to help. And basically what they do is they just reiterate everything we just said. Just 70% of patients are looking for, or clients and consumers are looking for, better health outcomes. They're looking to do something to invest in their health. The trifecta is personalize it, make it immediate, and make sure that you link the health outcome back to, so offer something that is going to work, and then show them how well it worked. And the neat thing about the new Oral-B IO kit is that it's about $350 at retail, and you can offer it to your patients for less than $200. And it's proven 82% of patients return to health. Affordable luxury, it will make an enormous difference. And so if you're into the practice, or have patients, you know, order in advance, and then you get them from the dental dealer after you had a few patients order some. And so we have a sheet here that we can send out. It's got tips to help, and the message is really simple. It's just, hey, we know we're going to find some common ground in the fact that you're looking for better health solutions, and we've decided to offer this new service. And you know, we're excited that you can take advantage of it and get better. And you can go to Dental Care, our website, dentalcare.ca, which is listed in the sheet, and you can download different tools if you want that will help, or maybe your service.
Perfect. Suzanne, I'm just going to, I'm going to turn off your video just for a few minutes.
Okay.
And we'll put you back on soon, but I think that might help with at least your audio for a little bit.
Okay.
So there we go. I will turn you on. Sorry, that now gray box. But no, I think that's very helpful. And as you say, we can get these sheets out to everybody as well. Did you want me to show the next one as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are just all examples and tools that help. Some communications you can already, that you have this service to offer. And I thought I would add in one, a post from one of our hygienists who just did this very simply the other day. And I mean, this is all she did, but she said, you know, let me know if you want one, because I can get it for you. So if you read that, you'll see that it was very simple to say, this is a great product. It works. I can get it for less than retail. And if you want one, I can do that for you.
That's perfect. That's testimonial.
I think it's great because one of the things, like you were saying about the physio, Suzanne, was, you know, having that available to you, because I feel like we're giving a disservice when we don't have the products there that we want our clients to use. You know, for myself with my physio, you know, they wanted me to have this special sock when I wanted to take a trip because I broke my leg last year. So they wanted me to have this special sock and they didn't have the sock there. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go looking for a sock. So they ordered me the sock. So the next time I went, I had the sock. Then they have all these bands. We want you to be on these bands. And then I want that there. So if you're going to recommend something, please don't make me run around and look for it, and like, just have it there for me. Like, this is where, like, there is such a disconnect that I really feel like if you want them on something, have it there for them, you know, and you're going to be like, they're going to be so happy with you. You're going to provide a wonderful service, and we're going to get our clients healthy.
I think we have to utilize the gather up people for an order system, because right now there's a lot of commotion going on because people are stocking up both gloves and obviously all the other PPEs, but also anesthetic right now, because there's a problem with the anesthetic traveling in the winter time, and stock is low. So no kidding, there's like no spare space even in our lunchroom for holding things. So I think that the idea of gathering up a list may be the most effective in some practices based upon that challenge for right now.
Yeah, that's great, because I never really thought about that either, but it's the storage.
Yeah.
So really, like, if people, and I think it takes the pressure off, because a lot of people feel uncomfortable, and they get, like, especially if they bring the program in and it's like, well, we have to buy 12 power brushes. Well, now it's on them to have you sold? And so it makes you feel a little bit anxious. This way, you know that here I am, I'm going to order this for you. And that's another way for you to communicate. You can put it in a nice bag, put their name on it. And so, you know, stop by the office, we'll bring it out to you, you know, text us or whatever communication you have. Or if it's an elderly client or patient, maybe you want to drop it off on their way home or something. You know, there's different things you can do to really connect with your clients, to really wow them, show them that you care. And then really that's a full, you know, connection of afterwards. They're going to think about you. That's the whole after experience, right? They're going to be thinking about you.
And I like the idea too. I don't think many offices utilize their social media or Recall, let's like Recall Max, Recall Pro, all the rest, and letting people know that you offer this, because there are still those people that don't want to come in as the numbers are changing, and depending on where you are across the province, across the country, maybe in the US, every situation's a bit different and your community may be different. So I think that's a really big takeaway for me. Something I didn't really think about utilizing was the social media. Maybe that even be my own personal. Maybe there are friends of mine that, you know, are looking at this, and they're maybe not patients in my practice, but I offer this, so why not put it out there as a really great option? And I am the person to reach out to, and I'll get it for you. So I really so glad that you shared that with us today.
Yeah. And I think the key thing is to feel proud. You know, I know a lot of dental hygienists have told us we don't want to be salespeople, we don't want to be pushy. You know, I go back to my physiotherapist example, and I would say she has built an incredible relationship with me by offering this service. And it's a service, and it's offering. It's not a problem for you if they don't choose to take advantage of it. And they can always go to the store and buy it. But it's a service, it's a value, something you're offering them, and something that can really dramatically change their health outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, I've said it in almost every lecture I give, and I'm like, as a dental professional, we all are selling health. And so it's not that we're selling, and sometimes that looks like you need periotherapy or seeing a periodontist. Sometimes that means you need the right tools at home. Sometimes that means you need to go see a nutritionist. But we sell health every day. And when you know that you're selling health and for the right reasons, I think it resonates better with most of us.
That's right. I've changed computers, by the way, so I'm hopefully with you much stronger.
Yes.
Are way better.
It's much better.
Yes. I should have done this from the beginning. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You mentioned earlier on, you were talking about the studies and the things that you have to support the brush and some other things like Stannis. I know there's a lot of research on that. So I'm someone who's very passionate about continuing education, specifically the portfolio for us in Ontario, and then other provinces have different things that they need to do. But at the end of the day, we all need CE. So do you have any advice for us as far as how to utilize the research that you have for some of our own kind of learning goals?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Kathleen has been fantastic at helping me understand the journey and the concerns and the audits and the things that happen with managing, the requirements. And we together created the Compass program, and I think that has been really rewarding to me to watch that we can take clinical evidence, because it takes a lot for a company to do not only the R&D on the products, but then to field all these clinicals and get the data back. And so what we've tried to do is take the most important evidence and put it into a format that is conducive to make it really easy to set up goals. And some of them are, hey, some of them have nothing to do with bleeding and inflammation, gingivitis, but some of them do. And you can put a goal together with that program and look at the evidence that we have behind the new IO and any of our other Oral-B products. And then what that happens when you pair it with Crest and the Stannis fluoride products. And then actually field that with a couple of patients and actually monitor the results and then track it back. And that in itself can be an amazing way to do a patient evaluation trial in your own practice and make sure that your findings are consistent with the clinical evidence.
Which is great for the learning portfolio, because we would take all of our learning and we'd be very specific in what did I learn with this goal, and then how did I did you make changes to your practice, and did it benefit your practice and your clients? And then we have to show, yes, I made changes to my practice and this is what I did. So then you could say we implemented this program. I did my own action research project, and I, followed these clients, and this is my findings. These are my findings, and that way, because on each Compass you get the self-reflection study, like the whole form, so you can, really look back at what did I do, what did I learn, and then you just take that and then add it into your learning portfolio. So it's a really nice project. Thank you, Beth. I was just thinking I should have brought it up. Yeah, number 4 already. And you guys can order this. You go to dentalcare.ca, and so you can order Compass, and then it comes with these samples as well now, which is great. And then you can implement it. You can share the samples with your clients, and like I said, track them and see for yourself. You can even get a trial for yourself, and that's all on dentalcare.ca. You can get 1 per color, I think. Because I think you can. I kind of checked it out. It's not just 1 per person. If you can,
that's right,
in a few colors, you can, which is great. So then that way you can try it yourself, and then you can, see for yourself the difference, and then feel good about implementing. Look at the research, because the research is all there. Even with your studies that you have, like those stats that you shared, with the percentages of people that are feeling unsafe or uncertain, that's all done by a separate survey. Is that the Ipsos survey, right?
Yes, that's right.
So so these are facts, right? And so if you have your evidence when you're going to speak with your dentist, or if you have your, working for an independent dental hygienist, or whoever is the person that's making the decisions, you have all this behind you. So we always say, when you want to make change, really be prepared. Just don't go in and say, oh, I want to order these brushes. This is what I want to do. Do your research, put together a plan, present it like it's a case presentation, show where you're at now, what you can implement to make change happen. And this is what we have to do. And this is who's going to maintain this to make sure it's working. This is how we're going to sustain this project. And then, as an employer, I would be like, that's amazing. Thank you so much for bringing this up, because we all need to really work together to get our clients healthy, you know? And so if you can show this and that it's no real pocket, you know, like nothing really out of your pocket or the office's pocket, but all the benefits that come with it, like Carrie was saying, it takes them to the next level with restorative and everything. We all know that. So it's just like, now's the time we have to make change happen. We can't go back to practicing the way we used to practice. We have to really get people healthy, and people are now listening. So it'd be a shame if we didn't take this pandemic and make something good out of something that's been so horrible.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
that's right.
take it a step further and say, when you implement this program, you created a 5-question survey for your clients that you could ask them in the chair when they come back, and they've been using their brush for 3-4 months, 5 months, and then you ask them 5 questions, and you set that out. So that would be creating a new activity that went along with it. So you've looked at the science, you've now implemented it, and you're seeing how it changes. But what is your client's perception of the change? And that's what you really want to hammer down, because not only does their perception count, like, do they feel the difference between clean and dirty now? Do they understand? Are they becoming more fastidious with their brushing and the things that they choose to put in their mouth? It's not only that, it's like then it really enhancing the relationship between you and your client. And now you become essential to their lifestyle, which also then creates a want for them to make sure that they're booking their appointments, they're coming in on time, that you have made evidence-based decisions to not only recommend a product, but choose an interval and recommend other things for them to be doing or using, like the interdental head. I really love getting them once they're proficient at using their regular head to then implement other adjunctive devices that go on this that are really make a big difference. So you're then continuing to enhance that role that you play in your client's life.
And I love in the Compass too, all of the Compasses have some laminated sheets and different things. And so you've updated those with the new Compass, and there's ways to look at staging and grading, because some of that conversation also is like, hey, you're into this stage, this is what it looks like, and this is the products or the tools we want to put in your hands to help control it. So you really have improved some of those options. So if you're sitting there and you're like, hey, well, how can I get this into my practice? I need some other tools to talk about it, because it's about communication. There are some new tools with the new Compass that I encourage you to go online, look it out, check out your reps in your areas, and get familiar with that, because they're a huge asset. Thank you, Miss Beth Vanna White, for everything, because that's really what we need as a hygienist. I need some of these tools to make it easy, and these can be reasons as well you can bring to your employers, to your whoever it is that you're working with, and try to bring everybody on the same page, because this is a way also to bring your dental office together and say, okay, guys, we're really about the patients. This is what we're going to do. This is our philosophy. This is where we're going towards, and we're going to see great results. So it's pretty amazing.
So Suzanne, I'm just thinking, like, when they order the Power, they get essentially put on the Oral Health Essentials, but I think there has to be some sort of communication to know that they're going to receive all the goodies that come with it. Because as Carrie was speaking, I was thinking about those tearaway pads, which are essential. So because when I was practicing, I would like draw out the diagram, I would photocopy it, I would mark, this is the area of bleeding, this is the concerns, I would tell them what they had to do, and I would send them home with that photocopy. Now we've created it like a tear pad. So everything is there, and even the recommendations, you have stage 1. This is what we recommend. And so say it said 3 appointments, but you might be saying, you know what, I think we're going to only need 2 appointments. So you scratch it off, 2 appointments. This is what's going to happen if you don't follow through with the therapy. And then it tells them what's going to happen, right? So then they take this off, you show them their areas of bleeding, you write what they need to do, and away they go. So it's a report card that goes home with them. So I want to make sure that when people, if they are going to hop in and use some of these tools, that they have to make sure that they get that. Because I do talk to some people and they say, oh, we didn't get that. So I want to make sure that they get it, right? Because if you're ordering power and it's just like a regular order, but if you are saying like, we want to be on this Oral Health Essentials program, we want all the tools and everything that comes with it, then make sure that that you're getting those things, because those are, again, extra things that are showing wonderful value, building that trust, and the loyalty, all of it together.
Well, I think that, you know, you were instrumental in helping us put all those tools together. And that's the key. I mean, we wouldn't know exactly what would be of most value in the office to help educate, to personalize those conversations. But with the help of RDHU, we have put all of that together. So yes, it's one thing. You know, we've found a lot over the time, especially we've done a lot of work in orthodontics, and because orthodontics is such a torture test, you know, for hygiene. And we've put systems together where they don't miss the hygiene check in the office as the ortho team. And they're obviously checking for mechanics and what's going on with the brackets, but they now make sure they don't miss the hygiene check. And the system that they've put in, what they've noticed is that it's important to not only communicate about what needs to be done, but it's this whole idea of, again, giving them what they need, immediate gratification, but then constantly reinforcing and looking in on how it's working and how it's going. And that's worked really well. And the trap that sometimes we can fall into is just this idea of, oh, here's a thing. But without the first two elements of the communication of why is this important for you and how did it end up working at the end, that's what really brings the whole thing together. So yes, a lot of offices just order in the product kits, but I really agree with Kathleen. I think bringing in the value-added tools to help facilitate those conversations is really important. And we have them for you. We've made them. They're complimentary. So we can always make sure that we get those for you.
And thank you for letting us be a part of that, because we're also passionate about making change. So it's been very nice to work with a company that's listening and wants to help us. And, you know, it's, so thank you.
And thank you, for your partnership too. Just the way that you've come kind of behind us as dental hygienists and supported not only our needs for continuing education, but making it so easy for us to access tools that are going to bring our clients to that next level of health. So I know that personally, I just have really, really just enjoyed working with you and have appreciated just that support that we've received as dental hygienists as a whole, really.
Well, our partnership means a lot to us as well. I hope that everybody on the call will continue to feed in. You can feed it in through RDHU. You know, they guide us on a lot of the things that your profession needs. And it's really important, and it's great consult, and we really appreciate it. And we want to hear and we want to listen. You know, as things evolve digitally, we're trying to do that as well. And so we just want to make it work. We just want that communication to happen. Patients to get the level of care. In Europe, you have about 40% of households that have power toothbrushes in their home. In Canada, it's less than 10 on an annual basis that buy them. It's not the standard of care here, and it needs to be the standard of care. The other thing that's happening is that there's so many brushes now that are coming on the market. But, you know, as a profession, I hope you will stand up and say, show me your evidence. I know that 20% of patients will get healthy with a manual toothbrush. I know that needs to change. I know that we need to do something different. However, unless the evidence is there, unless the clinicals are there to support the fact that the patient will get healthy with this technology, then there's not much point in putting them on something else. And so that's a really important question to ask as a dental hygienist is, I want to see your evidence.
And long-term studies, a lot of them are short-term.
Yes.
And then the whole meta-analysis of it, right?
That's right.
If they're doing this analysis, if they don't come in with a long-term study, they don't make it into that. So a lot of them have these short-term studies, and you have to ask, where's the long-term?
And I hate to, we as a company, we spend so much time on research and development and so much time on clinicals. It is very aggravating for me when studies are touted that are just plaque removal or 1 or 2 days or, you know, something quick. And Kathleen knows that we've spent a bunch of time on not only our toothpaste, but also the power brushes, making sure that the evidence is systematically reviewed, that it's at the meta-analysis level. So a whole body of evidence has been looked at, and only the clinicals that are meeting the criteria of being valid are included in the review, but it's all done independently. And you come out with these conclusions on what is the power brush market body of evidence telling us? What is the stannous fluoride toothpaste body of evidence telling us? And that's when you start to see the conclusions of what technologies actually make a difference. And it's really all about returning people to healthy. Of course, we can't do that if they have periodontal disease, but there are a lot of patients we can return to healthy. And you know, I have a very big passion on trying to help you do that.
And you know what, over the years, for many, many years, I've had a long working relationship with Oral-B and all of the practices I've been able to work in. And I know you offer a variety of toothbrushes. So some people might be sitting on here going, okay, given my clientele that, you know, IO might be the best, but I might not have other options. And so I'd suggest you reach out to the sales, your reps. They're so knowledgeable, and given different situations, your company has totally pivoted like we did, where we used to sit together. Now we're all, you know, sitting in front of our computers. And so reach out to your contacts, reach out to your reps, and they will help figure out a way to make this work for you, given the situation that it is in, if it's virtual or live. I've talked to quite a few of your reps in the last little while, and I think that that's a really great option for them, because it's not just, it's about getting them started, and they've got the resources for you.
That's right. We'll meet with you live. We'll meet with you in a parking lot. We'll meet with you at a coffee shop. We'll meet with you over the computer. We'll do whatever.
Exactly. Oh, this has been such a fun show. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us, and you know, we're happy to have you back. Definitely a much better connection now. So
I'm so sorry. I should have.
No, if you're listening and you missed out on something that way, you want us to reiterate, just email us over and we'll shoot them over to Suzanne, and we'll kind of fill in a bit of the gaps there. But it is always a wealth of knowledge to have people like yourself and the group of us on here. It's really been a fun learning and great resources. Like I said, my takeaway is I want to try to use social media a little bit more, and just educate people and give them the option to reach out if they want something more or want to know more about power, because we really can help people right now.
Right.
All excellent points, Carrie. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. And thank you, Suzanne, for taking the time to be on the RDH View. We're thrilled.
I love it. It's like a celebrity.
And for those of you watching, it will be recorded as well. We will have certificates, so that'll be on the portal and also in your personal portal as well. Just give us a few days to get that sorted out. And thank you so much. There's Sohaila.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.